Now I'm going to tell you what gets in the way of trading and leads you to blow your account. I'll share my own experience and our students' experiences. Many of you will recognize yourselves in these trading stories. We'll break down a plan to eliminate negativity and trade consistently profitably. So get comfortable and let's dive into the video. The very first thing that will get in your way when trading is your emotions. It's exactly because of emotions that a lot of people start blowing their accounts. And honestly, when you're emotional, you can make a ton of mistakes. Let's break down two situations. For example, in one situation, you're someone who wants to make trading your main occupation. So due to emotions, you'll end up losing money for a long time. As a result, you'll end up doing analysis wrong due to emotions at least once. For example, let's say you need to enter on the breakout of this level, but you'll just keep banging your head against the same spot, banging your head against this closed door, and as a result, doing your analysis incorrectly. And the second scenario is when a person is just trying themselves out in trading. Because of impulsiveness, for example, they open a couple of trades and then decide that trading isn't for them. But at the same time, they were doing their analysis completely wrong. They were trading incorrectly, and as a result, they end up saying that trading just isn't for them at all, even though, for example, they could have made 10 or 15 trades to really understand how the strategy works. In other words, when we're emotional, it's very easy for us to fall into certain mistakes. But if, for instance, we make 20 trades without any emotions involved, then we actually start to understand how a particular strategy works for us. If you only made 2 trades and decided that this isn't for you, then maybe it really isn't for you. Basically, trading requires perseverance, and emotions have no place here. In other words, emotions don't lead to anything good. First of all, you can burn out badly, you can hurt yourself, and obviously nobody needs that. So turn off your emotions, learn how to handle them. I recommend either doing sports or just calming yourself down, doing things that distract you from trading, so that you don't make mistakes out of emotion and can work confidently. In short, the very first thing to remember is that we completely turn off all emotions. They're absolutely unnecessary in trading. This is the main mistake all beginners make. The next common mistake, which can also lead you to lose your deposit or even stop trading altogether, is being afraid to trade on your own. Actually, this is simple and pretty easy to fix. If you don't know where to get ready-made tools or how to work in the market, then I recommend subscribing to our Telegram channel. That's exactly where you'll find ready-made strategies and also support from our managers who will help you make money from trading. There's nothing difficult here if you keep practicing. We provide all the tools for practice and we provide the knowledge. So all you need to do is apply our experience and earn from it. So if you want to get ready-made strategies, then follow the link in the description and start earning together with our community. It's not that scary. And again, all of this can be fixed with practice. If you're afraid to trade, then just start practicing. Set a goal for yourself to make 10 trades a day, for example, using some strategy. Let it be a small percentage. You don't have to trade with 20 or 30%. You can trade with just 2 or 3%. And as a result, you'll gain confidence, you'll gain knowledge, and most importantly, practice. So practice, learn the strategies, and then you'll really be able to achieve great results in trading. If you want to get useful tools, then right now follow the link in the description and subscribe to our Telegram channel. I'll leave the link in the description. Now, let's move on to the next mistake. The next mistake, which many beginners also make, and again, it comes from the previous one, is the fear of opening large trades. So, if you're still afraid to trade on your own, if you're afraid to trade at all, then obviously you'll be opening trades for just $1, $10, and accordingly, these are very small amounts for trading. With this approach, it will take you a very long time to make any money here, and you'll burn out and give up much sooner than you'll achieve any real results. In order to work steadily here, you need to increase your trade sizes. And when people say that it's possible to start trading with $20 and make $5,000 or $20,000, yes, it's possible, but it takes a very long time. So, you need to be mentally prepared for that kind of time frame. Otherwise, you should at least start with $500. Then we can figure out whether we're moving in the right direction or if this just isn't for us. Moreover, I'll tell you from our experience, and from the experience of our managers, that very few beginners who, for example, have a $500 deposit actually lose their entire deposit to zero. That happens very rarely, and mostly under the influence of emotion. That's why we shouldn't get emotional. We need to test, practice, and, accordingly, increase our earnings. Then we can actually make money here. So, as I mentioned earlier, go to the link in the description to get ready-made strategies, for example, like this one with the alligator, and then you'll really be able to earn both on the OTC market during weekends and on the regular financial market. So, my advice to you is to keep increasing your profits, keep practicing, and then you'll definitely succeed. Now, let's move on to the next point. The next point is the demo account. If you're always trading on a demo account, then basically, you're just playing a minigame. Just imagine that this money isn't real. So, for example, you're on a demo account, you've shown good stats, your trades are closing in profit here, you're catching some really strong moves, and then you get ready to switch to the regular financial market to a real account. And so, what happens next? Let's say your stats on the demo account are about 80% winning trades. That's actually a good statistic, a very solid one, the kind that confident, experienced traders show. But that's a demo account. When you switch to a real account, what happens? Your stats using the same strategy at best, will end up at 50%. Why does it work like that? Because here, you have the confidence that you can top up your account at any time, that you have no restrictions. If you make a mistake, no big deal. You just refill your demo account and keep going. But on a real account, your emotions come into play. You no longer understand how to work with real money, and as a result, you start experiencing all the fears I mentioned earlier. Fear of trading, fear of opening large positions. And, as a result, many people fall into this trap. I have nothing against demo account. They're basically just a way to test the platform, to see how it works. So, here's what I recommend you do. If you want to test something, that's fine. Go ahead and try it out on a demo account, but don't do more than 10 trades. Otherwise, you'll get too used to this type of account, and as a result, you'll perform very poorly on a real account. So, keep your distance from demo accounts as much as possible. The next thing I recommend is to figure out why you want to trade at all, and to set a clear goal. Because if you come into trading just to try it out, chances are that's exactly the kind of result you'll get. Very few beginners, in fact, start their trading careers confidently right from the beginning. No one has ever started their trading career in just 1 week, let alone in a single day. You need to practice here, you need to learn, and you need to make mistakes. This really is the way that allows you to make money. But here, you need constant perseverance. You have to control your emotions here. You have to manage your risks. And there are a lot of hidden factors. But if you practice diligently for at least 2 or 3 weeks, you'll achieve your first results. So if you're just coming to try it out, it's better not to come at all. Don't waste your time. You'd be better off doing something else. But if you're serious about it, then welcome aboard. Again, our team provides all the tools for beginners and, accordingly, guides them by the hand toward big money. It's not so much that trading itself is difficult here, it's that the initial period is tough. Believe me, when I started trading, or you can ask any of our managers. Again, we have as many as 11 managers who are ready to support you at any moment, provide you with a strategy, or recommend a tool, and all of them started from absolute zero. They made mistakes, they lost their deposits, but they found their own strategies, developed their own systems that work and generate income. So once again, let me remind you, you always have the support of our team. You can ask any question, whether it's in the YouTube comments, in private messages, or to our support team. In general, I'll leave all the useful links to our contacts in the description. There's nothing complicated here. It's simply a matter of time and desire. If you're serious about this, if you want to earn money, you're welcome, then you'll succeed. We're just here to help. And finally, the last thing I want to touch on is the technical aspects. If you're doing well with all the points mentioned above, then you might still have a few areas that are really lacking. For example, it could be your entry point. If your entry point is really bad, then you could easily be losing up to 20% of your trades because of it, especially if your trades are closing, at -1 or -2 points. Then that's exactly what this is about. It means either your entry point is bad or your timing for the trade is really off. One of these two factors will end up affecting you and taking away up to 20% of your profitable trades. That's why you need to be careful with your entry points and the timing of your trades. But again, that's only if your trades are closing from -1, well, let's even say up to -5 points. Within that range, you need to work on your entry points and trade timing. The next point is having a completely wrong strategy. So, if your strategy at one point gives you, say, 80% winning trades under one scenario, but in another case it only gives you 50% winning trades, and the fluctuations can be plus 10 points or -20, then you really need to put a big question mark next to that strategy. I would think about it and take a look at strategy number 2. In other words, strategy number 1 isn't working, so we put it on hold and need to look at strategy number 2. And accordingly, if you can get at least a stable 65%, that's already a positive statistic. And ideally, of course, you should be closing trades at least 5 points in profit in your favor. Then the strategy is truly effective and everything is working out well for you. And probably, the final mistake that causes many people to lose money is being unable to make a decision. For example, let's say you and I are looking at a chart. Right now, we have a clean chart with just one indicator, and then we start adding a bunch of indicators, and we end up losing sight of the chart itself, of the candles. A lot of beginners think that having a lot of indicators is cool, but understand, we're not machines. For example, in our booster bot, it has 94 indicators, and it knows how to handle that kind of volume, but we're not machines. We can't do that kind of analysis. That's why I recommend you stick to a maximum of 2 tools, 2 types of analysis, and then you'll have a clean chart and clear analysis. This is actually a common mistake. Even our own students make it. When we talk to them, we ask them to send us an example from their strategy, and we see that there are 10 indicators on the chart. And as a result, you can't even see the chart itself. And in the moment, you can't make a decision because one indicator tells you to go up, another tells you to go down, and you don't know which one to prioritize, the one saying down or the one saying up. So always keep your chart clean, keep your emotions cool, and practice more. And then you'll really be able to make money. In short, I'm leaving all the useful tools for the trading bot strategy at the link in the description. So join our community and start earning with us. If you have any questions, you're welcome to reach out to our support account. The team there will answer and help you sort out any issues. All the links will be in the description. Be sure to leave your feedback. How did you like this video? Is there anything new you'd like to hear? Or what resonated with you in this video? I'll say goodbye for now. See you soon.